Hello everyone and welcome back into my kitchen. Join me as I make this delicious dessert. Let's go. Alright guys, so here's what I'll be using to make our pone. I have here 6 cups of grated cassava, and you can also purchase this frozen in African markets. Sometimes you find them in Asian markets, and blend it up and use it. You really want a very fine, want it to be a very fine consistency. I also have 2.5 cups of brown sugar here. I may need more. What I'll do is once I taste it, I will decide if I want to add some more. So I'm going to say now 2.5 to 3 cups will go in here. I'm going to put a couple of bay leaves. You know, this came from my mom's tree. And when I was a kid and my mom made pone, she would just put the whole leaf at the bottom of the baking pan and pour the mixture on top of it. But today, what I've done is I've toasted it, and I've toasted 1 stick of cinnamon, and I threw it in my spice blender, and that's what I have here. So I'm going to just sift it into here to make sure I don't get any big pieces, because you don't want to chomp down on a huge piece of cinnamon or bay leaf. Okay, now I also have here some pumpkin. You can grate your own pumpkin, but I am using the canned pumpkin, and what I have here is 2 cups. That's going in. And the nice thing about this recipe is that you just dump everything in and mix. Alrighty. I'm also going to add some black pepper. I know it seems like a weird ingredient, but I know the old people always say if you don't put this, you're going to have a stomachache if you eat this thing, especially if it's hot. So I'm going in here with about a teaspoon. Also adding about a tablespoon of my vanilla extract. Adding some almond extract. Calling that a teaspoon. In the Caribbean, you can buy what's called mixed essence, so they mix these two together, and I don't know what else they put in there, but you can purchase that. I don't have fresh nutmeg. I wish I did, but I'm using half of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Also using half a cup of melted butter. In it goes. And you can put a pinch of salt, but I'm not going to put any salt because my butter is salted, okay? Just wanted to say that. Adding a little bit of cardamom. This is not usually put in there, but I love the flavor. Half of a teaspoon. I'm gonna shake in some Angostura bitters. In the Caribbean or in Trinidad, we frequently use this when we're making sweets or desserts. I'm calling that a half of a teaspoon. And traditionally, dried grated coconut is put in here. But what I've done is I'm using coconut milk only because my son is not crazy about the texture of grated coconut. So I'm going to use 2 cups of grated coconut, the milk that you squeeze out, and just to intensify the flavor, I added 1 packet of this coconut cream powder to intensify the flavor of the coconut. So I'm going to get all this mixed up, and I'll come on back. Alright guys, so I have this all mixed up here, and I don't know if I said I had 2 cups of coconut milk in here or 2.5 cups, but it was 2.5 cups. And I only used 2 cups, so a half cup is left. And I also added in another half a cup of brown sugar into here. So what I'm going to do is get this poured into my pan, and half of this I'm going to make without any raisins, and the other half I'll make with raisins. Alright guys, so this is what I wound up with. I'm going to take these 2 pans to my kids and my grandkids, and I guess I'll keep this one at home. So I got these 3. I'm going to put them in my oven. It's been preheated at 350 degrees, and I'm going to estimate that it will take, for this size, maybe about 50 minutes to an hour. So I will check it after 50 minutes and see what the story is, and I'll let you see then. Alright guys, these have just come out of the oven. They stayed in there for 65 minutes, so 1 hour and 5 minutes. And they're all set. I used a toothpick to stick in the middle to make sure that they're done. When it comes out clean, you know that it's done. Also, if you just tap on the middle of it, you can tell that it's set, it's firm, it's not as jiggly as it was when you first put it into the oven. And let me bring this one closer so you can see. The top is not as like bumpy as usual because I didn't put in, you know, chips of coconut, but the flavor is going to be on point. I'll be sure to get a nice thumbnail so you can see the inside of it. Now, once this comes out of the oven, you want to make sure you let it sit and rest and cool off before you cut it and eat it. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming back into my kitchen. I sincerely appreciate you, and I hope you come back next time because you know I'm going to be making another delicious recipe. Bye!